You know, what's the real difference between a good project and a truly great one? It's way more than just getting the job done. Today, we're going to deconstruct a client's 5-star review to find the actual blueprint for an amazing developer partnership. Think of it as taking one success story and pulling out the lessons we can all use.
Okay, so let's meet the client at the heart of this, Shane. He runs a global online education platform, and his story is basically our entire case study. He had a really clear mission. He wanted to innovate to give his students a better experience, and that's what started this whole journey. So, first up, let's dig into Shane's story. We're going to look at the challenge he was up against and the vision he had for really transforming his platform to give his students a serious advantage.
So what was the actual tangible result of all this? I mean, a vision is great, but let's look at what was actually built. A pretty powerful custom AI toolkit. And this was no small feat. The developer was tasked with creating 5 distinct, super powerful tools, each one designed to solve a very specific problem for Shane's students.
And we're not talking about some off-the-shelf plugins here. Oh no. These were sophisticated, custom-built applications. Things like an AI essay checker for instant feedback, a grammar enhancer to help students polish their writing, and even a custom AI chatbot for 24/7 support. Every single tool was built from the ground up, totally tailored to make that learning experience better. Look, building great tools is one thing, but how they got built, that's the real story here. The dynamic of the partnership itself is what we need to zoom in on. This is what separates a pretty good project from a really great one.
So, according to Shane, the developer, whose name is Tamim, just nailed 4 key things. He was incredibly knowledgeable, he worked super fast, he was completely professional, and he was just plain easy to work with. Now, these aren't just buzzwords. They were literally the foundation for the whole project's success.
Now here's where it gets really interesting. Let's talk about the other side of the equation. Shane himself says, in his own words, that he can be quite particular. Now you can imagine that could have easily created some friction, right?
And this right here, this just illustrates the secret sauce perfectly. On one hand, you've got a client who has very specific needs and a sharp eye for detail. And on the other, you have a developer whose response every single time was, nothing was ever a problem. Anytime an adjustment was needed, it was just handled seamlessly. That is what proactive collaboration looks like in the real world.
And really, it all came down to this simple but incredibly powerful idea. The developer didn't just check the boxes and meet the requirements. He consistently went the extra mile, and that's what turned a standard project into something truly exceptional. So, okay, we've got top quality tools, we've got a fantastic working relationship, but what about the bottom line? Let's talk about measuring the actual impact and see how this partnership turned into real, tangible results for the business.
I mean, this is the question every business owner on the planet asks, right? After all that time, after all that investment, what was the return? What was the actual real-world impact for the business and, just as importantly, for the students?
The outcome was a massive win on 2 different fronts. First, the new tools directly helped to boost business revenue. And second, they made a huge positive difference in the students' actual education.
And that is the dream return on investment. It's not just about profit on one side. It's about creating this amazing synergy where the business grows because the customers are genuinely satisfied. It's a true win-win.
So, all of this leads us to the final verdict from the client himself. You could call this the ultimate seal of approval, the final measure of whether a project really, truly worked.
And there it is, a powerful, enthusiastic, and just completely clear recommendation. Shane's final thought isn't just that the work was good, it's that this is a developer who truly goes above and beyond.
So if you had to boil this entire case study down to just one concept, it's this: above and beyond. And in a project like this, that doesn't mean some big grand gesture. It's about anticipating what the client needs, handling changes with a no-problem attitude, and being genuinely invested in their success. That's the difference between a simple transaction and a real partnership.
And that leaves us with one final question to think about. As you go into your next project, doesn't matter if you're the client or the person doing the work, what are you going to do to make sure it's not just successful, but a true 5-star partnership? What's going to be your above and beyond ingredient?